Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here, as always, to take a whole stack of sources, pull out the really vital knowledge, and hopefully hand you that competitive edge.
Yeah, get you ahead of the curve.
Exactly. So today, we are deep diving into what looks like an essential blueprint for professional strategy and lead gen. Specifically, this is aimed at real estate agents and insurance advisors.
Right. Two fields where things have gotten complicated.
Absolutely. So if you are navigating that complex world of client acquisition in, real estate or insurance, this deep dive is meant to be your new operating manual.
Yet it really needs to be new. The reason this kind of blueprint is even necessary, well, it's the sheer speed of change, isn't it? The market, I mean.
How so?
Well, saturation is it's through the roof. There's so much information out there, it's almost paralyzing clients and honestly professionals too. And the tech behind it all. Completely rewritten the rules.
Right, and client expectations along with it.
Fundamentally shifted.
Yeah.
They don't just want someone to facilitate a transaction anymore. They expect a personalized strategy, real guidance.
So it demands a complete rethink, like a new blueprint, as you said, for how you connect, how you convert, and how you actually create value long term.
Exactly. Connection, conversion, value creation. That's the sequence.
And that brings us neatly to our main source today, the book Qualified, the Lead Generation Blueprint by Don P. Baker. Our mission here is to really dissect this thing and figure out how professionals can, stop chasing those painful, time-wasting cold leads.
Yeah, the cold leads. We've all been there.
Right. And instead start attracting what Baker calls qualified prospects who are ready to take action. People actually looking for what you offer.
And the book, it really targets those barriers, as it calls them, that keep so many agents and advisors just stuck in that cycle of uncertainty, never quite knowing where the next client is coming from.
Yeah, that feast or famine thing.
Precisely. And the core promise, the big shift it argues for, is that success going forward. It isn't really about just raw talent or aggressive sales tactics anymore. It's about this new, intentional level of preparation and strategy.
Okay, let's unpack that. Preparation. Because that sounds like the core idea. The book claims the pros who really win aren't always the most quote-unquote talented. They're the most prepared. But if we're moving away from just blasting out messages to cold leads, what does prepared mean in terms of identifying a qualified prospect according to this blueprint? Is it just budget or is it something else?
Oh, it's definitely something else. It's much more about behavioral intent. And crucially, it's intent that you identify because you've done your preparation.
Okay.
So the source defines a qualified prospect not just by, can they afford this, but by whether they've shown a clear need for specialized guidance, and importantly, they're on a path toward making a decision.
Right. So preparation means you, the professional, you've already done the homework, you've segmented the market, you understand the current pain points.
And you have a potential solution, a prescription, ready to go. You're not figuring it out on the fly.
Okay, that makes sense. And that leads right into this big mindset shift the book is pushing for. It talks about new professional identities.
Yes. Trusted advisor, confidence builder, architect of financial security.
Right. Now, when I hear architect of financial security, part of me wonders, is that just, fancy marketing speak? Does the book offer any hard evidence that clients actually prefer this framing over, say, a traditional results-driven salesperson?
Well, it argues it's not just a title, it's an operational change. It's how you operate. The thinking is that for these really complex, high-stakes decisions like, say, securing multi-generational wealth with insurance or navigating huge debt for home clients, are naturally skeptical of a hard sales pitch.
They're looking for reassurance.
Exactly. They want confidence, not pressure. So these three identities, trusted advisor, confidence builder, architect of financial security, they're important because they force you, the professional, to really prioritize strategy, risk mitigation, long-term thinking over just churning through transactions.
That clicks, because these are high-stakes decisions. You might be helping a young family secure their entire future with a home purchase,
Right.
or guiding someone through a life insurance policy that protects generations of work. That's essential stuff.
Hugely essential. But that essential role is constantly fighting against, chaos, frankly.
How so?
The blueprint points this out clearly. Markets swing wildly, buyers get hesitant, maybe interest rates jump or policy rules change. Competitors, they seem to multiply daily, and technology keeps disrupting the whole process.
So professionals aren't just selling a product or service.
No. They're almost like micro-level stability managers. They're trying to mitigate all this external, sometimes global, instability for their individual clients.
Wow. Okay, so amidst all that pressure, you have to stay sharp, you absolutely have to be ethical, especially in these fields, and you've got to be relentlessly effective.
No pressure, right?
Right. So this preparation piece we talked about, it's not just memorizing facts and figures then. It's about building a really robust methodology, a system that can actually withstand that market pressure and deliver the confidence clients desperately need.
Exactly right. It's about moving away from being reactive, always hustling for the next lead, towards something much more intentional. Systemized prospecting, personalized client engagement, delivering advice that's specialized because you are prepared.
Okay, so if this new identity being the architect of security, the trusted advisor, if that's the engine driving things, the next big challenge is how you actually operationalize it. How does the blueprint take these, somewhat lofty sounding titles and turn them into a daily actionable system? We need the how, the scaffolding.
Super practical steps.
Let's get into those specifics. The book promises a practical roadmap, right? Blending modern strategy with timeless principles and data. So what are these 6 pillars that make up the operational side of the blueprint?
Okay, the 6 pillars. They're really designed to integrate the mindset piece, that identity change we talked about, with the actual methodology, how you do things day to day. And crucially, they have to work together. It's not a pick and choose menu.
Right, integrated. Okay, pillar number 1, sharpen your skills. What's the single biggest mistake the blueprint says agents and advisors are still making with their, let's say, old scripts or approaches?
Oh, that's a clear one. It's relying on generic mass market sales talk that just rattles off features instead of focusing on client outcomes. This policy has XYZ instead of here's how this protects you from ABC.
So sharpening skills means
Right.
learning new scripts?
It's more than scripts. It's learning modern selling frameworks that are specifically tailored to the complexity of real estate and insurance today. For instance, instead of just pushing a premium amount, the prepared professional frames the discussion around the cost of inaction for the client, especially given current market volatility or risks.
Ah, okay. Shifting the frame.
Exactly. It's about redesigning the conversation to tackle skepticism head-on, focusing on what genuinely works now, not what might have worked 10 years ago.
Which I imagine means technology has to play a huge role in this new approach. That brings us to pillar 2, level up with technology. Now, I want specifics here. What kinds of tools, functionally speaking, does the blueprint say are essential for this prepared professional, not just use a CRM?
Right. It goes way beyond just having a basic CRM. The blueprint gets quite specific. It talks about leveraging things like predictive lead scoring.
Well, what's that?
Using AI, essentially, to analyze behavioral data, website visits, content downloads, email opens to score and prioritize leads who are showing higher intent. So you focus your energy where it's most likely to pay off.
Smart. What else?
It also emphasizes setting up sophisticated drip sequences for post-close value. Think automated but personalized communication systems that keep educating and providing value to clients after the deal is done.
Ah, so it's not just about the transaction.
Not at all. The goal is turning them to lifelong clients, even referral sources, because you're continuously proving your value, not just disappearing after the contract's signed.
Okay, that tech focus immediately repositions the professional. You're not just a deal closer. You're like an ongoing source of data, insight, and service.
That's the idea, the trusted advisor role in action.
Which connects directly to pillar 3, right? Build a personal brand. How does the blueprint link the technology we just discussed, the scoring, the automation, with building personal visibility and trust?
Yeah, they're tightly linked.
Yeah.
The core idea here is that in today's crowded digital world, if your brand doesn't stand for something specific and trustworthy, you just get lost in the noise. You are the product. That's a key phrase in the book.
Meaning
your entire digital footprint, how transparent you are, the kind of market commentary you offer, the expertise you share online, it all has to consistently align with that trusted advisor or architect identity you're cultivating.
And the tech helps how?
Well, the blueprint suggests using some of those tech tools, maybe like geofencing or hyperlocal social media targeting, to deliver relevant, personalized content that actually establishes your authority in a specific niche or area, instead of just blasting out generic listings or basic policy rate info to everyone.
Got it. Targeted value delivery builds the brand. Okay, so you've got the skills, the tech, the brand. Leads are hopefully coming in. Now you have to execute. Pillar 4, close more deals. This can't just be about applying more pressure, given everything else we've said.
Definitely not. It's about changing the whole dynamic of the negotiation or the closing process. The book provides really actionable stuff here, specific script examples, not just templates, and conversational frameworks.
Frameworks for what?
Frameworks designed to guide the client towards seeing the proposed solution as their logical choice, based on the preparation and data the advisor has presented. The aim is to make the client feel like they arrived at the decision themselves with your expert guidance.
Ah, less selling, more guiding to a conclusion.
Precisely. And the claim is this dramatically improves closing ratios because it reduces that last-minute buyer's remorse and eliminates the feeling of an adversarial, pushy sales situation.
That makes a lot of sense. And I like that the blueprint doesn't shy away from the emotional side of these deals. Buying a home, ensuring your family's future. These are deeply emotional. Which leads to Pillar 5, tell better stories.
Oh, this is absolutely crucial, especially for breaking through that initial skepticism we talked about. Logic and data only goes so far.
Give me an example.
Okay, think about a client hesitating on a comprehensive insurance policy. Often, it's not really about the exact premium cost. It's deeper approach. It's fear of the unknown risk, maybe fear of making the wrong choice. Storytelling, in this context, teaches the professional how to use emotional narrative.
Oh.
By sharing, say, anonymized but genuine accounts of how a similar policy or financial plan protected another family, a family just like theirs, from a specific hardship. It connects the abstract product features to concrete, relatable human outcomes. It builds trust where just spitting out statistics might fail.
Right, connects head and heart. Okay, and finally, the foundation for all of this, especially in highly regulated industries like real estate and insurance. Pillar 6, lead with ethics. Now, we all know integrity is important, integrity sells and all that. But how does the blueprint propose turning basic ethics into, like, a high-level marketing strategy?
It argues that radical transparency itself becomes the key differentiator. Think about it. Proactively clarifying things like commission structures up front, explaining policy complexities honestly, even pointing out potential market downsides or risks before the client asks.
That takes guts.
It does. But by doing that, the professional builds this kind of moat of trust around themselves. The source material basically says that consistently doing things right, even when it's maybe less profitable in the short term or just inconvenient, becomes a really powerful, distinct marketing tool in fields that, let's be honest, are often viewed with some public skepticism.
So ethical leadership isn't just a nice to have, it's positioned as a core strategic advantage for long-term sustainable growth.
That's exactly the argument. It underpins everything else.
Okay, now let's zoom out for a second to the book's structure itself. It sounds like it's trying hard not to just dump information on you. A lot of professional development books can feel overwhelming. This sounds built for immediate use.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The whole thing is designed to be practical, not theoretical. It aims for a really no-nonsense approach, trying to minimize that friction between learning something and actually doing it.
How does that come across in the chapters?
Well, you see it in the content. Each chapter includes things like real stories, actual accounts from the trenches, showing wins but also losses, and the lessons learned from mistakes. And that makes it relatable.
Okay.
And crucially, as you hinted at, they actually name specific tools and software. They don't just say use automation. They might mention specific platforms people are using, which lets you go check them out right away.
Yeah, that naming of actual tools, plus having concrete action steps at the end of each chapter, that feels like the difference between a vague manual and a genuine usable blueprint.
Exactly. And it also tries to ground the strategies by referencing, respected thought leaders or proven business methodologies, so it doesn't feel like it's all just made up. The ultimate goal is helping professionals move from that reactive, maybe chaotic lead-chasing mode.
To a proactive, controlled, system-driven approach.
That's it. The structure is there to help you not just learn how to sell, but how to sell, as the book puts it, smarter, better, and with more confidence than ever.
So the overall shift described here, it's pretty significant. It's really about taking back control of your lead generation, moving away from just being tossed around by market uncertainty,
Right.
and building a career based on sustainable, ethical effectiveness. You're not just closing random deals. You're actually helping build lives and financial futures.
That really is the core message you need to walk away with. The future of selling, especially in these complex advisory roles, belongs to the professionals who really get that their role has elevated. You're more than just a salesperson now.
You have to be that architect, that confidence builder.
Yes. And you have to embrace innovation, particularly through that strategic preparation we keep coming back to, if you want to navigate today's environment successfully. It's volatile out there.
Which means the power does shift back, in a way, to the professional who is prepared. But it also means challenging some really ingrained ideas about hustle culture, maybe, or raw sales talent being
Right.
king.
It definitely does. And that brings up a really important final question for you, the listener, to think about drawing on everything we've unpacked from this blueprint today.
Okay.
If technology and market disruption really do mean that preparation, intentionality, and that strategic, transparent ethics are now genuinely more critical to long-term success than just raw talent or old-school hustle, what established, maybe even comfortable industry assumption about what success looks like? What assumption must you be willing to challenge first within yourself to truly embrace this new blueprint? Think about what you might need to unlearn to start winning in this new landscape.